What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. I'm super pumped to introduce my next guest to you. This young man is incredible, and he's got a huge vision. He's a #1 international best-selling author. He's a speaker and philanthropist, and he actually has a mission to donate $100,000 to the Mental Health America and to prevent suicide in America, which is really just so incredible. He's also the creator of the Rising Entrepreneurs Group on Facebook, where he teaches you how to build and grow your business online. And really, it just blows me away, man, that you've done all of this before your 23rd birthday. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Nicholas Dodge.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you taking some time out to come and talk with our audience. Hopefully, we can pick your brain and share some of that insight and experience that you've been able to grow. And, I was doing some research on you. I kind of mentioned before we jumped on here that, I was looking at your Facebook page and all this stuff. And I came across your very first Facebook Live where you were at Funnel Hacking Live. And for those of you that don't know, this is an amazing marketing event put on by the ClickFunnels team. And anyway, so you were out there and you were talking about how you never thought you'd be the person walking around in public, like talking at your phone, but there you were. And it was a great video, by the way. You're really articulate, man, and really well, spoken. So can you tell us a little bit about that experience and sort of like the fears that you had and kind of how you were able to push through it?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, that was my very first Facebook Live. And, I'm sure you saw the video like you had mentioned. I was sitting there and I was literally like shaking. I'm sure you saw that. And it was like kind of hard to see. But how I worked up the motivation to do that, it was simply, being at this event. You're surrounded by 4,500 other online business owners and digital marketers. And they're all publishing, they're all going live, and they're all sharing with their communities. And honestly, it was really just as simple as saying, thinking about what my business is going to look like 5 years from now if I don't start publishing, and then looking at my business 5 years from now when I'm consistently publishing and building my following. And so I kind of just looked at both of those grand visions and thought, I could be 5 years from now not having anybody listening to my message, nobody really following me, or I could start today. I could just get it over with, get over my fears, jump in and do a Facebook Live, which, the topic that I shared, it was just my 3 biggest takeaways from the event. And it was kind of just like a spur of the moment, like snap of the fingers, let's just do this and get it over with. And that's really where it all came from. That's how I found the motivation, because I just thought like grand picture, and just, I think that the business and the lifestyle where you're actually like contributing to an audience and making an impact in the lives of them is a lot better than not publishing at all and kind of just like trying to find other ways to reach your audience. So.
Yeah, I love that, man. And actually, I love how you put it too, where, we're all told to kind of think about like, where do we want to be in 5 years? This is a pretty common question that we're asked, especially when it comes to just self-growth and development and business, especially. But the way that you poised it was very specific, because that question, where do you want to be in 5 years is very nebulous, right? It's very open-ended and it's kind of hard to answer. But you sort of poised it in a way where it's like, where am I going to be in 5 years if I start publishing? And where am I going to be in 5 years if I don't start publishing? And those are two kind of crystal clear visions that you can see. And so I love that you were able to kind of put yourself in those shoes and really feel like, this is the direction I need to go. And you're absolutely right. I mean, you just got to be out there publishing, man. You got to be talking to your people, building that audience and that connection with them, because that's really where business is going these days, especially with the internet and the way we all communicate now. So I love that, dude. That's a great story. And I think good, inspiration for anybody out there that's kind of fearful of just getting out there and doing it, putting your face out there.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I did want to mention as well is just the fact that I'm much more comfortable on video now. Like I'm a lot more outgoing and I'm like comfortable being in front of a mic on camera and stuff like that. But that didn't just come by like doing one Facebook Live and just like, being comfortable. I mean, it came from consistency, which, you just have to get over. And the thing is like when you first start publishing, you're going to be very bad. I'll be blatant with you. You're going to be very bad on camera. You're not going to you're going to stutter. You're going to just like shake like I was with my phone. But, the cool thing about that is that when you're first starting out with publishing, nobody's even going to be listening to you anyways. So that's a perfect time to like practice and build up with that consistency. And then by the time people finally do start watching your videos, you're a lot better and you're a lot more comfortable. So
yeah, for sure. And what's funny too is it's actually, and I imagine you've probably done this before with maybe some of the mentors and entrepreneurs that you follow, but we always go back to the very beginning, right? And try to watch that
Yeah.
video that the person put out, because it makes them human, you know. And you're right, like you're never going to start out perfect, right? Practice makes perfect. So the more you practice, the better you get. So I love that, dude. So let's go ahead and jump into like your story, man. I want to hear about how you got started as an entrepreneur. What made you find this path? I mean, you know, you're a young cat and you're doing really big things, dude. Like it's really impressive. How'd you get to where you are today?
Yeah, of course. So it actually was when I graduated high school. I kind of knew at that point that I really, didn't want to pursue a career. I mean, like I didn't understand exactly what I wanted to do with my life, and I had no idea like what I was even passionate about. So it was kind of like my personal development phase. Right as I graduated high school, I was reading a lot of Tony Robbins, a lot of Tim Ferriss, stuff like that, and I kind of had this passion that I had developed for personal development, for mindset, and so. It was I would say, I think it was October of 2015, about a couple of months after I had graduated, that I published my first book on Amazon. And at the time, it was very cool. Like I was making like $200 a month, and to me at that time, like being fresh out of high school, and that was just a phenomenal experience because I wasn't really doing anything with it. But the thing is, with Amazon, there was a lot of competition, and so after I would say about 2 months. Taking a step back here, I had published that book on Amazon, and I would say after about a week, it became a bestseller, which was like phenomenal. And that's when I started generating that $200 a month revenue. But after a couple months after that, sales had just completely stopped. And that's because like with Amazon, people are constantly publishing, and your stuff just gets lost in the void if you're not like one of the bigger names like Tony Robbins or Tim Ferriss. And so at that point, I kind of realized that I needed to have my own websites and like having my own traffic coming to them. And so that's when I came across ClickFunnels. This was around, I would say 2016 at this point. And I kind of thought that it was just going to be like the closest thing to easy money, honestly, that the market had to offer. Because being inside of this group, I saw people, hitting the 2 Comma Club, which for those of you that don't know, it's an award for earning over $1 million through a funnel. And I saw all these people doing like all the things that I wanted to do. They were making a lot of money. They were making a difference. They were, traveling. They were buying nice cars and nice homes. And I just associated like sales funnels to being an easy achievement of that lifestyle. And so what I had done was I'd actually taken this book that I published on Amazon, which ironically enough, and you're going to understand why it's ironic here in a second, I published it on mindset. And I took that book, I created a webinar and a course all about mindset, and I slapped together my first ever funnel and started driving traffic. And I took I think it was like around $16,000 or $17,000 that I had made from this book, because I had published others throughout on Amazon at this time. I generated all this revenue. I pushed it all through Facebook ads to drive traffic to this funnel. And so it was, I would say, maybe a month after, I hired this manager. So it was $9,000, $8,000 for the ad budget. So $17,000 later, and nobody had like invested in my course I created. Nobody bought my stuff. And being 20 at the time, I didn't really understand like how to measure these metrics and stuff. And so, I mean, it was just blind faith. But I had lost all of it. All my savings were gone, and I had very little to my name, maybe like $100 in my bank account. And so, it was at this point in my business and in my life that it was like December of 2017, I had actually started considering suicide, which is why it was very ironic that I had published my book on mindset. But I don't really know how I worked up the motivation, to be honest with you, but I decided to give it just one more try. Like I knew this is something I wanted to do, something I was passionate about. And I ended up, working several part-time jobs. I even Ubered for a little while. I sold my old clothes, my old gaming systems, and I joined this mastermind. Are you familiar with Akbar Sheikh, Corey?
Yeah, I do know Akbar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and so he is responsible for actually helping 8 sales funnels hit 7 figures. And I joined his mastermind. It was being inside of this community that I really found my voice. I found out exactly like what I wanted to do and what I wanted to help people with. And because of that, I actually launched my next sales funnel and my new offer that I had created around this new idea. And because I was a lot more specific, I actually landed 46 new customers inside of my course that I created after just 12 days of launching this funnel. So that's kind of the story behind like where I started with this whole journey in entrepreneurship. And that's the story behind why I do what I do now. So.
I love that, man. I love that. And there's a lot of things in what you said to kind of unpack. And what's really cool is that, you started out and you had a vision, right? You didn't know what you wanted to do, but you knew that just going into a workforce was not for you. And I can totally relate to that. My story is very similar. But it's interesting that you had that faith, right? Like you said, it was blind faith. And I think that belief in the unknown is super important for any entrepreneur, right? I mean, because there are times where it's just not going to work, I do
Yeah,
have to say, very happy that you were able to make it through those dark times, because the world's a better place with you, not without you, bro, for sure.
I
And
appreciate it, man.
now you're doing a lot of amazing things and helping a lot of people, which is super important. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. And then the other thing I want to talk about is, like you said, you joined a mastermind. So you
Mhm.
surrounded yourself with driven people, like-minded
Yes.
people that were doing things.
Mhm.
I think that's super critical to growth as well. Is to have good people that can impress upon you the
Mhm.
skills and the drive that you need to get to where you want to go.
Exactly.
We've all heard it before, right? We're an average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And
Yeah.
that's clearly the case for you. That that's kind of what sort of fueled that fire and got you to where you are, which uh,
Mhm.
which is amazing, bro. That's really amazing what you've done in such a short amount of time. So congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, Corey. Thank you.
Yeah,
And yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head with the with how like joining that mastermind had totally changed this outcome for me. I'm sure you can attest to this, but when you first get into business, a lot of the friends that you make at this point in your life and a lot of your family at this point, they're not really going to, not necessarily not believe in you, but they're not going to understand exactly what you're doing. And because of that, they're not going to support you, or at least to the extent that you would like them to. And yeah, like I said, just joining this mastermind, man, it was totally insane. Just the connections you're able to make and being surrounded by people that share the same goals and visions, it makes all the difference. So,
definitely. Let's talk about that for a second, man. Like, what are your thoughts on why the
mhm,
family doesn't understand or doesn't support what you're doing? Like, because I think a lot of people that are
mhm.
in your position, they're in my position, they're growing their business, they have this, they have their friends and their family that they've had forever. And
Yeah,
now that they're doing this thing, or maybe they've been doing it, it just doesn't mesh, right? These people don't understand.
yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of it's funny. I was actually I don't have the book around me. It's hang on, let me see here. It's called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. That's one of the first books I ever read. I actually don't have it right here, but anyways, it all comes back, in my opinion, to predetermined routines and beliefs. As you grow up with certain people, and you're raised in a certain way, like you're going to have these different beliefs that are instilled in your mind. And for a lot of people, it's the preordained, just get a job, go to school, or well, go to school, get a job, and just work for 40, 50 years of your life and then retire. And it was inside of this book, The Millionaire Fastlane, that he really talked about that, and how when you have these beliefs, you're set to a particular path in life. Exchanging your time for money, not really understanding exactly how to add value to a certain community of people. He talks all about like the different mindsets essentially between someone that has a job and someone that has a business. And so I think it all comes back to just that, really the, first of all, the belief behind whether you're able to achieve this or not. But I also think that it comes back to simply just, not really understanding how to transition from, the lifestyle of having a job and only earning money as you work, to actually going out there and solving a problem, or finding a problem first of all, and then actually going out and solving it, offering a solution for it, and then making money in that way. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But to be honest with you, like I think once you develop a true understanding behind how this whole online space actually works, it becomes a whole lot easier. Because like I said, when I first got into business, my initial goal was just to make a lot of money online. Like that was my goal. But once I had joined this mastermind and I realized that there was a whole like bigger picture behind actually going out there and making a difference and contributing and adding value to people's lives and solving a problem that they have, then once you approach it with that mindset, then I think that makes all the difference in this space. So
Yeah, for sure. And you're absolutely right, man. The whole idea behind business is to create value in somebody else's life by solving a problem for them. Right?
yeah, exactly.
And there's problems everywhere you look. And it's funny, once you adopt this mindset, everything you look at becomes an opportunity, right? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
you can't go somewhere without seeing like a solution to a problem, you know? So it's
Mhm.
we almost as entrepreneurs, we have to like say no to things like, no, no, I don't
Yeah.
on that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that too about like seeing opportunities because I was actually quick story. Like literally just this past weekend, I was in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, with my brother, and we went to this winery, and so it was really cool because this is kind of like getting into actually offers and funnels and stuff. Um, but we went on this tour of this winery, and at the end they did samples of the favorite wines that they had, and it was kind of funny in like seeing how this whole like this whole game plays out with funnels online, how this was playing out in person. But once we had those samples of the wine, we ended up buying 6 bottles, and then it was funny like going through the checkout line. Like you're obviously familiar with upsells and stuff like that. In the sampling, they were giving us like these crackers with cheese while we were eating, while we were drinking the wine, because it just like pairs nicely with them. But they weren't really offering like, or rather like mentioning like the sale of these cheeses that they had, right? And so I was in the checkout line, and it was funny. Like we bought the like 6 bottles of wine, and at no point did they mention like, hey, like this cheese goes really well with this wine. So it was funny, like, oh, like they could be making so much more money just upselling me the cheese that goes well with this wine. And so just seeing like problems that these businesses have and how they could be making a lot more money. It's just you nailed it, man. Like once you have this knowledge, you can't help but see like problems that you
That's
could.
hilarious. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's great. That's great insight for sure. They could have totally upsold the cheese and the cheese and crackers, right?
So yeah, it's pretty funny, but yeah, you nailed
So yeah, talking about the whole digital landscape and online marketing and that whole scene, like what about it is exciting right now? And how could a business that is offline, like this this winery, how could they go online and create something that could help them, make more sales, get more customers in the door? What do you have on that?
Yeah. So the thing that excites me the most is that with online businesses and with sales funnels, your market is virtually unlimited. That's my main like big like that just boggles my mind. The fact that like these local businesses, which I haven't really focused too much on, I'm more so focused online. But a big problem that I see with these local businesses is the fact that they could easily take their products online with a simple, like we'll just say, for example, a free plus shipping funnel, right? And then inside of this funnel, they could add all these different upsells. And like with food, obviously, like that's going to require a little bit more logistics as far as like properly, transporting it and stuff like that. But, that's just what boggles my mind is the fact that like, you're confined with a local business to a preordained like location. But as soon as you take it online, you can reach this mass market of people that, trying to like get away from wine and away from like cheeses, people that could find you. Like, let's say you help people with mindset, or you help people, for me, I help people like also launch their funnel. So like, it's crazy just to see that like, once you take this online and you really figure out exactly where your audience is, and it's just a matter of simply putting your offer and putting your message out in front of them, you could just reach this mass market of people that can actually benefit from what you have to offer. So that's my like biggest like excitement in this whole online game, is just the fact that not only do you have the chance to make a lot more money with it, but you also have the chance to, if you truly believe in your product that you've created and you think it can actually make a difference in the life of your customer, then you pretty much have an obligation to go out there and find a way to get it to them. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I love that, man. And you're right. Like social media has really sort of allowed us to find these people.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, they sort of complain about Facebook and how much it tracks and all of this, which it can be a little intrusive at times. But the whole idea is to try to provide a better customer experience and
Mhm.
based on, what you do online. So they track your history, they track your websites, they track, the posts that you make. And it's not like somebody's actually watching you, it's all done by an algorithm, but they want to serve you ads that make sense to you. So as a business owner, it makes total sense to be putting yourself out there, because your customers are not just down the street. Like you said, it doesn't matter what you sell. Even if you are just a local service-based business, you can still bring your service online and find, it's a million X the amount of customers that are out there.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And I also love sales funnels and the whole idea of wrapping a product into a very specific sort of process to get,
Yes.
from A to B. For
Mhm.
anyone listening right now that isn't aware of what a funnel is, can you kind of give us a little explanation on that?
Yeah, of course. So I think the best way to describe actually what a sales funnel is it's a process that you're going to go through, that you're going to take a potential customer through to actually becoming an actual customer. Um, Simply like trying to figure out how to put this in. I mean, was that a good explanation? I mean, I think that like kind of sums it up in and of itself. Um,
Yeah.
but like it's pretty much.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
So
little bit of a delay right now. Sorry, man.
oh no, it's good. No worries. I think we're good now. But yeah. So essentially, it's like taking a potential customer through the process of becoming an actual customer in your business and offering them exactly what they need when they need it, or what they want and when they want it. Right. Like for me, for example, my course is all about helping you launch a funnel online. From there, like once you opt in, you get a course on actually so my course in and of itself, essentially it helps you launch a funnel online. My offer after that is actually giving funnel templates, right? So like taking them through the process and giving them exactly what they need and when they need it. And then from there, I offer a social media course to help get you traffic to your funnel, right? So it's like, it's a great way to really, first of all, deliver your core product, but also offer them like, certain products and certain solutions along the way that's going to help them achieve a certain result. So hopefully that was a good explanation, but
Yeah, for sure. No, and it's great. And I mean, the idea behind a sales funnel is not new, right? I mean, funnels
yeah.
have been around since business has been around. And just like you were talking about at the winery, like their sales funnel was to get you in, right?
Mhm.
The wines, seeing what they're all about, and then they offer you the bottle. And
Yeah.
they misstepped on not upselling you on the cheese and crackers, right? But
Yeah.
the whole idea is you're going through this process, to become a customer. Now,
Mhm.
for the winery, they could take this whole process and put it online into a sales
Mhm.
funnel. And like you said, it's just, it's mapped out pages, right? So you go to one page, you have one thing you can do. You either take advantage of like the free wine tasting or you don't, right? And if you do,
Yeah.
you land on the next page and it's like, hey, here's 6 bottles of wine, or one
Mhm.
bottle actually, and then the upsell would be 6 bottles, and then from there it's
Sure.
crackers, you know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's just a smart way to sell to your customers,
Mhm.
and it provides more value for them in the long run because they actually get what they want, and
Yeah.
they end up happier, at the end of the process. Yeah,
Exactly.
so I love the fact that, again, I'm a big fan of ClickFunnels as well. I know you are, and I love what they're doing, and how easy they make it for us as entrepreneurs and business owners just to get on and provide our stuff to our people in a smart fashion. So
Mhm.
I think sales funnels are really cool. Yeah, cool, man. So let's go ahead and sort of jump into another topic, which is
Mhm.
like this whole, balance of working for yourself and then living a life that you enjoy. I mean,
Yeah.
you seem like you're doing a lot of stuff. How do you make it all work? How do you manage it?
Yeah, so a couple of different things. The first is actually, coming to the realization that once you reach a certain point in your business, you can't do everything on your own anymore. Like when I first started, I was the one to obviously first and foremost write my book, but I'm also the one that edited it. I'm the one that designed the cover. I'm the one that formatted it for Kindle. I'm the one that promoted it on, these different, platforms. I'm the one that did everything, right? And then not just even with the book itself, but with like, just graphic design and eventually funnel building, and, driving traffic and like doing Facebook ads and organic reach and like, just everything. I did everything. And, I think that the biggest realization for me was coming to the realization that, I totally burned out. There was about this, I don't remember exactly what point it was in time, but there was this point in my business where I didn't work for like a month because I was just totally drained. I just hated what I was doing. But once you realize that you can't do everything on your own and simply going out there and finding somebody, like I recommend starting with a virtual assistant. You can hire them for like literally $10 a day to help you out and do the things that you're not necessarily skilled at. And it's going to save you so much time that you can actually then devote to things in your business that you're actually good at, and things that are actually going to help you generate revenue online. So that's kind of my takeaway on that. I don't recommend, if you're not good at graphic design, spending a whole day designing a logo. I recommend going to Fiverr and paying somebody $5 to do it, and then you can actually focus on what you're actually good at. That's actually going to help you, scale your business. So,
Yeah, that's really great advice. And it is absolutely 100% correct that you cannot do everything on your own.
Yeah.
And up to a certain degree, you know, and when you're starting out, you kind of have to, unless you
Mm,
have, you know, a large, you know, cash pile that you can pull from and just and you
sure.
start
Which a
hiring.
lot of people don't when they first start a business, right?
Exactly, exactly. So it can be frustrating and tough in the beginning for sure to get the wheels going.
Yeah.
But so you were able to hire some virtual assistants. You were able to
Mhm.
get people to kind of help you out and build out a little bit of a team. You know, on that note, like, have you been burned at all by virtual assistants, or is there a process now that you put people through to kind of to make sure that they're going to work?
Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't necessarily been burned by virtual assistants. I would say um, so to answer your first question, the only instance in which I didn't really have a pleasant experience working with somebody was when I actually hired that Facebook ad manager to drive ads to my funnel. Right. You know, in a sense, like I'm a big believer that everything and like that you experience in your life comes back to a decision you've made. And so at the time, I was like very upset that the fact that like they didn't mention to me that my ads were not converting. Like I was making very little money, if any at all. And in a sense, like that was really the only instance in which like I probably would have worked with somebody different, I guess, because I would have liked to have at least been notified that like my ads weren't performing as well as they could have. But I would say the process behind what I do now, as far as like actually bringing people onto my team and like working with people in general, I have them shoot like a quick 30-second to a minute video. I'm sure you've seen this, and I have them send it to me, and I want them to tell me why they think they're the best fit for the position that I'm actually looking to bring them on for. So, you know, if it's virtual assistant, if it's Facebook ad manager, whatever it is, I want to know about why they believe they're the best person to work with me. And I want to hear like some of their different goals and their vision behind how they're going to be able to help me like achieve the goal that I am hiring them to help me achieve. So that's kind of how I separate people from the pack. Because a majority of the time, honestly, I would say 80 to 90% of them are not going to send you a video. And to be honest with you, I don't want to work with those people that A, can't follow simple instructions, or B, you know, they're not like invested enough like to shoot a 30-second video and tell me why they're the best option. So that eliminates like 80% of the people or 90% of the people that I don't want to work with. And then from there, it's simply just a matter of like really going out there and finding out specifically like, you know, based off of personality, you know, who you think you're going to be able to mesh the best with, and kind of just results oriented as well, seeing like who's been able to achieve, you know, the most notable results with whatever it is that you're looking to hire them for. So.
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant, man. Actually, and you know, it's a great idea because, like you say, it gives you insight into the person's personality.
Yeah,
Because they're going to be on video, and if they're on video, they can't really fake it. You know, they can't because
exactly.
somebody writes you, you know, like let's say a proposal, or they send you their resume or whatever. It's a very thought out, crafted message. You know, and they have to
Yes,
sit there and polish it and make it perfect. You know, but when somebody's on video, it's like, this is me, this is who I am. You know, and hopefully
exactly.
you like it or you don't, you know, but it is a great strategy for sure to make sure that you can find people that you know you'll work well with. And plus it weeds out all of the people that, you know, are probably going to end up burning you, right? If you're
Exactly.
working with them anyway. So that's really
Yeah.
good advice, man. What about for fun? Let's talk about, you know, what does Nicholas Dodge like to do for fun, man?
Oh man, what do I like to do for fun? Well, there's no oceans in Chicago, but I do love to surf and fish. But oh man, what do I like to do for fun around Chicago? I play basketball a lot, man. You know, that's something that I like to do that I usually keep active the most with. So you know, that's really fun. It's a really good escape from like constantly working. You know, as entrepreneurs, you know, like once you're in the groove, you know, you end up working 16 hours and it feels like 2. And sometimes you forget to eat, but
Right.
right. But no, I mean, I love constantly. I like actually going out there and just getting active because it's a great escape from sitting in front of a computer. And just going out there and you know, just enjoying nature, and getting some fresh air once in a while. But you know, man, that kind of caught me off guard. There's a ton of things that I love to do, but you know, that's what I'm coming up with right
That's
now.
awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, it's just like you say, as long as you're getting out there and doing something, you know, because
Yeah,
life is not all about work. It's not all about making money. We need to be enjoying ourselves and having fun along the way. So
exactly.
I love that, dude. All right, Nicholas, give us one last answer here. I got to know, you know, looking
Yeah.
back, I mean, I know you're kind of still just getting started here. You've got a long journey ahead of you, but knowing what you know now, all the experience that you have, looking back, what's some advice that you'd give yourself maybe 5 years ago?
Don't start with a product idea. Start with actually a problem that you can solve. A lot of people, when they first like think of this whole idea of having a business, they think about what to actually go out and create and sell online. And they start with that. And then, they spend months of their time and, sometimes thousands of dollars creating, a certain product, and they launch it and they find out that nobody's interested in what they just created. And that was a big problem that I had experienced. So I think my best advice for the people listening to this episode right here would be to actually go out there. First of all, figure out what you're passionate about. And then in that area, figure out exactly what market you can serve and a specific problem they're experiencing. And then from there, go out there and create a product or an offer around that, around something that is result oriented and not something that you think is cool. And then go from there, because you're actually creating something that people want, something that people are going to benefit from, and from there selling it's all the much easier, because you don't have to try to figure out the pains they're experiencing, the problems they're experiencing, because you created that, or you understood that with creating the product itself. So it's just a much cleaner, much easier approach, and it's a lot more effective when it comes time for you to actually launch this and start building your email list, generating leads, and actually making money online. So
I love that, man. I love that. It's great advice. Tell the people where they can find you, man. Like, what do you got going on in your life?
Yeah, of course. Well, like you said, I'm the most active here on Facebook, always doing these Facebook Lives and sharing valuable content. But do you mind if I actually let them know about the course that I created?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell them all about it.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's a free course, 100% free. And it pretty much just helps you. It's the whole process behind actually, finding a market, choosing a market, creating an offer, and launching your funnel based around it online. So, if you're in the beginning stages of your online business and you're new to funnels, or you haven't found much success with them, then this course actually, a couple of 2 Comma Club winners have actually gone through this as well. I've gotten great feedback from it. So it's actually helped a lot of people land their first customer with sales funnels. So if you guys are in that kind of point in your business, then it's 100% free, and I'd love to have you guys join. So
awesome. Where can they join that course?
Yeah. So it's just nicholasdodge.com/free course. That's the link, and that's where you can get access to the course.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely link that below, guys. You need to check that out if you're getting started in business, or if you want to learn about sales funnels. Go check Nicholas out, and I'll link all that below. And hey, man, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate having you on. It's been a great conversation, and thank you again for sharing your knowledge and your time with us.
Of course, Corey, dude, I appreciate you having me on here. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome, man. All right, well, we'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely. Peace.